Budget Day next Monday. GECOM registration to take place year-round, and too low to drill amateur quail this year. Hi, I'm Enrico Belford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Budget Day for 2023 will be Monday, January 16th, according to Senior Finance Minister Ashni Singh. Recently, he's been consulting with various stakeholders, including the private sector and government agencies, to gather ideas for the budget. The national budget is expected to prioritize critical development programs and reflect the government's transformational agenda for the nation. This will be the third budget presented by the current administration. Low-cost Dominican Republic-based airline Arajet is expected to apply soon to the GCAA to begin serving the Guyana market. Officials at the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority have said that requests have been made about the application process and requirements for service to the local market, although no application has been filed as yet. The airline, which was founded in 2014, currently flies to 17 destinations in 11 nations and has been praised for offering cheaper services between its Caribbean and Latin American destinations. But, let's just hope it doesn't become another Eastern Airlines or Dynamic. The World Bank's half-yearly report, The Global Economic Prospects, predicts that Guyana will be the only nation in the Latin America and Caribbean region to record double-digit growth in 2023. Guyana's growth rate is projected to be 25.2% in 2023, building on the 57.8% expansion last year, and to continue increasing into 2024 with a 21.2% rate. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has the region's second highest growth rate of 6% for this year. The Dominican Republic and Barbados will record growth rates of 4.8% each. However, the LAC region, as this Latin American and Caribbean region is known as a whole, is expected to slow down to a 1.3% growth rate. The slowdown in growth has been attributed to inflation and high interest rates. Bethel Chinezi, the Nigerian national who carried out an attack at State House a month ago, is currently being held under police guard at the hospital. He is conscious, oriented, stable, and able to communicate, according to police. He is no longer on a ventilator and is being treated for his wounds. His wife and others are restricted from visiting him, however. The presidential guard, whom he stabbed multiple times during the attack, was discharged from the hospital on December 29th. He is undergoing a psychological evaluation and claims to have had visions of sitting with the president and sharing them. This is Chinezi, by the way. His residence was searched and people who had recent dealings with him were questioned. Nevertheless, the investigation is ongoing. Now for some of the nonsense we call politics. The Florida chapter of the PNCR has compiled a no-confidence motion against party leader Aubrey Norton. According to reports, the motion claims that Norton has failed to unite the party and to keep it vibrant, and the Central Executive Committee meetings have not been held regularly. The motion also states that the party's image has been severely tarnished and that many members, supporters, and sympathizers have lost interest in the party. I'm surprised electoral fraud made them not. Anyway, Norton has stated that the party's constitution does not provide for a no-confidence motion, and that the party's Congress is the only body that can change a leader. But, to be fair to Norton, none of the politicians in this nation honestly have my confidence. Aha! It's a new year. How about you make your truck run like new with Powered Automotive? Powered Automotive had truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digital Topper. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. And in other political news, Fayez Mursalane, the former treasurer of the PNCR, has rescinded his resignation after meeting with Aubrey Norton. Mursalane had resigned due to frustration with instances of racial hostility within the party, but he confirmed that he is now back with the PNCR as its treasurer. The party had not officially accepted his resignation, and Mursalane agreed to stay with the party and to resolve his issues internally during a meeting with Norton. Norton had previously said that he was not aware of the racial hostility issues Mursalane had with the party, and that the party had mechanisms to deal with members who were involved in racism. I'm surprised Anyway, Mercelin had been affiliated with the PNCR for nearly a decade and was elected treasurer in December of 2021. In elections-related news, the High Court has rejected a motion by 6 defendants charged with electoral fraud to hold off criminal proceedings against them until the court could determine if there had been a breach of their fundamental rights. The defendants, who include GECOM employees and opposition members, have been charged with attempting to rig the 2020 election in favor of the APNU AFC. This had led to a motion by the lawyer of the defendants, Nigel Hughes, to stay the charges before the chief magistrate and to send the matters to the High Court for determination if their fundamental rights were breached. That was actually rejected. Meanwhile, the cases against them have been adjourned until March the 13th. On a related note, due to recent changes in legislation, GECOM is now able to carry out registration exercise year-round, instead of just during certain periods of the year. This allows for registration transactions to be facilitated on a continuous basis. Continuous registration. Eligible individuals can conduct registration transactions between the periods of January to May, provided that they will be 14 years or older by June the 30th, or during the period of July to November, provided that they will be 14 years and older by December 31st of that year. GECOM also reminded that individuals must be Guyanese citizens by birth, descent, registration, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth nation living in Guyana for 1 year or more. But they didn't say any provisions about dead people. Ha! The Elections Commission of Inquiry is taking another break and will be reconvened on February 6. At that time, Attorney General Anil Nandalal and other government officials are expected to be called to the stand. The chairman of the Commission of Inquiry, retired Trinidadian appeal judge Stanley John, said he would like the hearings to wrap up by February 10th. Now for today's oil update. S&P Global expects Tullow Oil to target the Amatuk prospect in the Orundu block for exploration this year. The estimate for the block's oil equivalent prospective resources was 2.9 billion barrels in a 2018 report. But it was updated to 5.1 billion barrels in 2020 after new data from the Jethro and Joe Wells. A 2022 report by WSP USA Incorporated estimates the block to hold 8.1 billion barrels. It is not clear if this estimate for Amatuk also increased. The well is expected to be drilled in the second renewal period of the license, which will conclude on January 12th of this year, with the consortium relinquishing 20% of the acreage. Tullow owns 60% of the operating interest in the Orundu block, which is 170 kilometers offshore, while Eco Atlantic has 15% and Total Energies/Qatar Energies JV has 25%. As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today. Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's latest car on sale. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth, mag rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, spot camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million. All pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Roger, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lama Street, and tell them that we can send you for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it placed was. Last night I asked about the police statistics. According to them, violent crime has been decreasing. How do you feel about it? But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to our 2 paid supporters, Dion Nascimento and David Griffith. Thank you for your support, as it is what helps us bring you the news every evening. Willow Darrow says, I'm sure some people can be fooled very easily. I don't believe violent crimes has decreased. Someone is pulling that information out of the hat. Troy DeWeaver says, the crime is not getting worse, it is the worst. Indeed. The government needs to allocate the GDF and the police to defend the streets. Because the GDF has no one to fight, why not help out the police there? Jay Jairam believes that police statistic is being inflated. Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. And finally, Navindra Law says that he wants to know what the government will do about these brutal murders of innocent people for their stupid misunderstandings. I wish I knew, because that's a tough one. Now for tonight's question. With Budget Day coming up next week Monday, I want to know, what is something that you think the state should spend more money on? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.